Another day, another story. A timeless love story. Part 1. The sun was setting on the quiet village of Millfield. The sky was painted with hues of orange and red, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. It was a beautiful evening, one that would be remembered for a long time. But for Lucy, it was just another day in her mundane life. Lucy was a shy and introverted girl who had always lived in the shadows. She had never had any friends, and she spent most of her time lost in her own thoughts. She had always dreamed of a life filled with adventure and excitement, but she knew that it was nothing more than a pipe dream. As she walked down the winding road that led to her house, she heard the sound of horses galloping in the distance. She turned around to see a carriage, pulled by two magnificent stallions, coming towards her. The carriage was adorned with gold and jewels, and it was clear that whoever was inside was of great importance. Lucy watched in awe as the carriage passed her by. As it disappeared into the distance, she couldn't help but feel a sense of longing. She knew that she would never have the kind of life that the person in the carriage had, but she couldn't help but wonder what it would be like to be in their shoes. As she reached her house, she was greeted by her mother, who was busy preparing dinner. Her father was out in the fields, working late as usual. Lucy's mother was a kind and gentle woman who had always been there for her, but she was often too busy with her own life to pay attention to Lucy's needs. Lucy went up to her room and sat by the window. She watched as the stars began to twinkle in the sky, and she felt a sense of calm wash over her. She knew that she was meant for something greater than the life she was living, but she didn't know what it was. Part 2. The next morning, Lucy woke up early, feeling more restless than ever. She decided to take a walk to clear her head. As she walked down the road, she saw a group of children playing in the park. They were laughing and shouting, enjoying their carefree lives. Lucy watched them for a while, feeling a pang of envy. As she continued walking, she saw a man sitting on a bench, reading a book. He was tall and handsome, with a rugged look about him. He looked up as Lucy approached, and she could feel her cheeks flush. She had never seen anyone like him before, and she couldn't help but feel drawn to him. "Good morning," he said with a smile. "Good morning," Lucy replied shyly. They struck up a conversation, and Lucy found herself opening up to him in a way she had never done before. She told him about her dreams and her aspirations, and he listened intently, offering words of encouragement. As they parted ways, Lucy couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. She had met someone who understood her, someone who made her feel alive. Over the next few weeks, Lucy and the man, whose name was William, began to see each other more often. They would take walks together, talk for hours, and explore the village. Lucy felt like she had found her soulmate, someone who completed her in a way she had never thought possible. But as the days went by, Lucy began to realize that William was not what he seemed. He was a notorious thief who had been on the run from the law for years. He had been using Lucy to stay hidden, and now, the law was closing in on him. Part 3, continued. One night, as Lucy and William were walking along a secluded path, they heard the sound of horses approaching. William's face went pale, and he grabbed Lucy's hand, pulling her into the nearby bushes. "Stay quiet," he whispered. "It's the law." Lucy's heart pounded in her chest as she watched from the bushes. She saw a group of men on horseback ride by, shouting and hollering. She knew that William was in danger, and she didn't know what to do. As the men disappeared into the distance, William emerged from the bushes, looking shaken. "We have to leave," he said urgently. "The law is getting too close." Lucy felt a sense of panic rising in her chest. She didn't want to leave William, but she knew that he was right. They had to go. They packed a few essentials and left the village under the cover of darkness. They traveled by night, staying hidden during the day. They crossed rivers, climbed mountains, and traveled through dense forests. They were like fugitives, always on the run. As they traveled, Lucy began to see a different side of William. He was no longer the charming and charismatic thief she had fallen in love with. He was tired, paranoid, and constantly looking over his shoulder. Lucy couldn't help but feel a sense of disillusionment. She had thought that their love was timeless, that it would conquer all obstacles. But now, she saw that it was fragile, and that it could crumble at any moment. To continue in next video. Thanks for watching.